The ducks are hatching. Hello, little ducky doo. Yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs pipped that I can see, and I'm not seeing pips on the others in places at least that I can see. So 6 so far. So that means that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with no pips. And then we have this guy who's practically all the way zipped out. We'll see what he keeps doing. These 4 are skirret plants that we started from seed that we saved from last year. And it's time for them to go into the ground and join the rest of the skirret that we have growing around the property. We have 4 skirret plants that were planted last year that are in this bed here, and we're going to add 4 more skirret plants to this bed. So our skirret's about to flower. You can see that it's creating its flower right there. If I can find a picture, I will put the picture up of the flower heads, what they look like from last year. So we have these 4. We have this skirret plant, and we have 1 there and a 3rd one in the planter as well over this way. And this one is nice and tall. It's got a tall one and a short one. And I think there was another skirret plant, maybe not. Maybe it was just those 2. 1, 2, oh no, it's over here. This skirret plant is a little underdeveloped though, so I'm not sure what's going on with this guy. It's a little smaller, but we put the skirret plants in both the ground and in planters because we wanted to see when we harvest this fall how they develop. Which ones are better, bigger, thicker? Are we able to manage them in the pots a little bit better? That is the whole point of growing these plants. Now, skirret is a perennial vegetable. That means that it will grow all year. And what is that? What's going on there? Oh, look at that. So, skirret is a perennial vegetable. If you don't eat the skirret, it will continue to grow every year and just get bigger and bigger, which is the root that's underneath the ground, very similar to a carrot. It also, every year in the spring, you'll see little shoots that come up. You can cut and divide those shoots and create new plants, or you can do what we've done, which is to plant seeds. And right now our management plan for skirret is to grow it from seed until we get one that we notice is a nice thick juicy size. You have to be careful from what I've read with skirret because it will create a hard inner core, and we will find out about that this fall and winter when we harvest. But the skirret plants that we harvest from that have really good, thick roots, we will try to save some of those roots and replant them. And what I will do is I will, when we pull the plant, I will replant the ones that have really good roots. I'll put them in pots that we'll have already saved in the greenhouse. I'll get some soil in them and we will pot it up and put them in the greenhouse or in the hoop house to continue to preserve them if the ground is frozen. And that way we can continue to grow the skirret from those thicker roots, kind of like a potato. If you develop a potato that you really, really like, you keep growing the potato from the tuber, not from the seed, because the tuber is a clone of itself. So we will continue to do that with the skirret when we find one that has the desirable characteristics that we're looking for. And my willow, which will get cut further down this spring, I may actually trim down some of the branches right there because I want to put the skirret right there. To toss out this willow because this is the type of willow that you use to make living fences out of, and to also make baskets. I am going to cut them into their branches into more manageable sizes, and I'm going to put them in a bucket of water and root them, and probably put them someplace else on the property to start up a new willow stand. Okay, so I'm going to clip the willow so I can get them to root. Just pulling some of the ends off here. Willow pretty much roots regardless of anything. If you put it in water, it's pretty good that way. So we're gonna just leave this here, and over the course of the next couple of days, 2 weeks, it should start to root. We'll come in and we'll see little pink roots on the bottom of the willow, and once we start seeing roots, it'll be time to get them into the ground. So we'll come back and update in 2 weeks when we've got some roots. So let's get started getting the skirret into the ground. Those are our 4 new skirret plants added to the older skirret plants. You can see this one has some really nice thick stems here. I'm hoping that these will have some really good sized roots this year that we can eat. If you like the idea of growing perennial vegetables, there are a lot of different types of perennial vegetables that you can grow in your garden. Skirret is one of the vegetables that's a perennial vegetable that we grow. Sea kale, which I have another video about sea kale, and I will link it up above. Rhubarb is a great perennial that you can grow in your garden. Chinese artichoke, or cronies, another perennial vegetable that you can grow. Tubers of the Chinese artichoke look a lot like little or big white maggots, and they taste really good though for the odd look. Let us not forget the wonderful asparagus. We have an asparagus forest growing right now in our back garden. Scorzonera and salsify, which are being invaded by the pumpkin. There are a lot of perennial vegetables that you can grow, and one of our goals for our homestead is to try to grow as many types of perennial vegetables as we can throughout our property. So that way it's something that's a little less work. Hopefully the perennial vegetables are low maintenance, and they will always be there for us to get a crop from or harvest from every year.
He wants to come out.
You made it. Now you can rest. You did a good job. We're so happy to see you, little duck.
And now you can come out now.
Well, he has to dry first. If you would like to subscribe, please click the subscribe button below. If you'd like to make a comment, you can also comment below. And thank you for watching. Have a good night. Say good night, little guys. Say good night. Yay! Say good night to the camera. Good night. Good night. You gonna say good night, little one? Oh, what is that thing? Good night. Good night. Good night, red beeping light. Good night.